Hi, my name is Marielle. I'm a sexologist.
And I'm Véronique, and I'm a trained special educator teacher, and we both work at Marie-Vincent as project leads and trainers. And today, we're answering questions that parents and other significant adults in young athletes' life have about sexual violence and the ways to prevent it. First question. My husband encourages our son more than our daughter in their sport. How can I help him value her just as much? Often, not because they mean harm, and sometimes without even noticing it, some parents encourage their child differently based on their gender.
It's a great example that highlights how sport culture has impact on our society, and it goes way back. Historically, women were kept out of many sports. People claimed that they were physically unfit, that it would make them less feminine or even infertile. This categorized women as inferior, and they were denied access to the same activities as men.
Yeah, and these kinds of attitudes have contributed and still continue to contribute to creating the conditions in which sexual violence can occur, especially in sports.
Yeah, and as of today, we still see the consequences of our history. One way this shows up is in the media through less and lower quality coverage of women's performances.
We've come a long way, but some reflexes are still deeply rooted in our culture. For example, we often have different expectations for boys than for girls. We underestimate young girls' interest in sport and what they're capable of. We put more emphasis on their academic success and on contributing to family responsibilities. Unfortunately, it holds them back from reaching their full potential because they spend less time in their sport.
It all comes from gender stereotypes, and it deeply harms girls in sport.
And boys too.
It's important you mention it. A first step to help your husband notice this and become more aware could be to share a few statistics on gender inequalities in sport. There's a few on screen just right now.
We'll give you a second to make a screenshot. We encourage you to have a conversation with your husband about the impacts that this can have on your daughter and her passion for sports. The best way to support your daughter in this situation is give her space to speak up, support her choices, and expose her to inspiring athletes who break stereotypes.
The good news is we've seen a lot of progress in recent years. There are more women in leadership roles, and some women's teams have been granted salary increases.
Someone asked, how can I protect my child from false allegation of sexual assault, knowing that it's common in the world of sport?
It's a really common concern in sports settings. I want to reassure you, false reports of sexual violence are a very small minority. Between 2 and 8% of all reports are considered false, which is about the same as for any other type of crimes.
Boys are much more likely to be victims of sexual violence than to be falsely accused of committing one.
I'd also add that we sometimes assume that an acquittal means the person didn't do it. That can be true, but it's important to remember that a judge or jury might still believe the sexual violence likely occurred but acquit anyway because reasonable doubts remain.
That's one reason why a small proportion of complaints of sexual assault ends up in a conviction. It's one of the crimes least reported to the police. Complaints are often considered unfounded because there isn't enough evidence. Basically,
false accusations are not common, and the best way to protect young people is through education. So when you see sexual violence cases in the media, don't hesitate to show support for the victim. I say that because young people really buy into false accusations myth. As an adult, you can help question them.
Someone shared, my 17-year-old recently told me that they experienced sexual violence at age 13 during team initiation. Why didn't he tell me about it sooner? There are many reasons a teen might not disclose right away. Victims face many obstacles to disclose. The fear of not being believed, of being judged, of the consequences.
And sport contexts add even more obstacles. Fear of losing opportunities, of tearing the team apart, of being seen as weak, and the pressure linked to financial investment. Too much emphasis is placed on sport and performance, which can make it harder to come forward.
And we want to reassure you if you're feeling guilty because your son didn't come finding you sooner. Nearly 30% of victims take more than a year before disclosing. Someone says, My teen told me they were sexually assaulted and I'm completely shaken. I don't really know what to do around them anymore.
It's totally normal it's affecting you. Believing your teen is a powerful and impactful protective factor.
Believing them also means listening to what they need, validating what they lived through, and holding the person responsible for what they did.
To protect your teen, it will also be essential to report the situation to the Director of Youth Protection.
Every adult has the duty to report to the DYP situation of sexual or physical violence, whether they witnessed it, were told about it, or suspect it. If action have already been taken for the situation to stop, it's the DYP that will assess if the security and development of the child is being compromised.
Receiving a disclosure can be truly overwhelming and shocking. It can make you feel like you lost your bearings and sense of control. Just like the instructions on an airplane, you need to put your own oxygen mask before you help your child with theirs.
In other words, it's important to get support and to take care of yourself. When you feel supported and guided, you're better equipped to help your child. To find resources for parents and other significant adults, check out our tool, Halftime Off Field, available on our website.
This tool also includes plenty of practical ideas for prevention.
That was the last question.
How should we wrap this up?
All I can say is never forget that your presence, your interest, and your conversation really do make a difference. As an adult, it's sometimes the smallest gestures that leaves the biggest mark.